Welcome to Take Flight Live with Phoenix Stage Company, an award-winning 100% volunteer community theater organization located in Oakville, Connecticut. I'm Ed Bassett, Executive Director of Phoenix Stage Company, and your host here with Tim Phillips. Say hello, Tim.
Oh, hello.
You weren't prepared.
I wasn't prepared.
You weren't prepared.
See what I did there?
I do. I saw what you did there. Also in the room with us today is Lori Phillips, our volunteer coordinator.
She's waving, but you can't
She's
tell.
waving. Yeah, she's quiet over there.
She's quiet, yeah.
Because Al is spending the month of March up in Vermont skiing, and Michael is moving into his new house this weekend.
Congratulations, Michael and Eric
And Jeannie. Jeannie's
Yeah.
going to be living in the
Yeah.
in the house as well.
We've seen the pictures.
It's a beautiful home. It's in Middlebury, so congratulations to you
Welcome
guys.
to the wonderful world of home ownership, where
Yeah.
everything is your fault now.
It's true.
It's
true. Ruthie's going to love it with the big backyard.
Absolutely, and we can't wait to.
Yeah, I
Our
can't wait.
first
I
cat party
cannot
there.
wait to visit. So, how was your week, Tim?
It was pretty good. You know, we're moving along. I'm busy with work.
Yeah.
And soon you will be too.
Craziness.
Yeah. So, but it's, you know, it is what it is. We move closer and closer to spring,
It's true.
and
Yeah.
closer and closer to open.
Yeah. It's a little. I had a really like bizarre week. I'll be getting my vaccination on Tuesday. So
I'm signing up this week.
Tuesday, the VA called me and scheduled that.
Yeah.
They scheduled me on Saturday. They scheduled me for Tuesday, which was really interesting.
Aren't you special?
I am special ed, and and so I'm excited about that.
Yep.
And as you know, and Lori knows, I'll be taking ownership of Arabesque soon. Very
Yes.
it's a little daunting. You know, the move that we were planning.
Yes.
Planning to move the store into Oakville. Michael just decided that it was time for him to think about retiring, and it's exciting. I haven't really slept in a couple of days because it's just been, my mind's been going like crazy. So there we are. Yeah.
So it's good to keep it busy.
So I've been spending a couple of days preparing.
Have you?
I have a lot of paperwork. It has been a long year. We're already in March. Wow, we're already in March.
Yeah, how about that?
Look, so speaking of that, we have birthdays.
Yes, we do. Cue the music.
Cue the music.
There it is. Okay.
Whose birthday is coming up, Tim?
On Saturday? Saturday, March 7th.
That would be 4, 5, 6 Sunday.
Sunday, March 7th. Our own Chris Evans.
Chris Evans!
Chris Evans.
Happy birthday, Chris Evans.
Can you believe that?
And you know, something big
We
is
know-
happening. Something big is happening on the 6th.
Yeah, what is it?
It's your wedding anniversary, Timothy.
Yeah.
Well, Lori got surprised too. Look, she's like,
Yeah.
what? What's happening? on
It's
the
your
6th?
wedding
Our
anniversary.
34th wedding anniversary.
Happy anniversary to
Thank
both of you.
Thank you.
Thank
Well, what are we doing? Did we do anything?
I have no idea.
I got your present.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Pressure.
It's mealworms.
Mealworms. No, I gave him mealworms for Valentine's Day, so.
Sue it.
Now he's going to make
Good.
you muffins with the mealworms.
Mealworm muffins. Colleen, find a recipe.
Yeah.
Speaking of Colleen and speaking of people that are on our chat room, let's talk about today's show.
Yeah, so today we're talking about preparedness.
Yes.
So we discussed preparedness in theater and the weird things that people do. But with everything that's going on in the world today and everything that happened, we talked about it briefly last time, what the occurrences in Texas and whatnot.
Right.
We want to talk about other kinds of preparedness, what you need to do to be prepared in your life for things that may happen. So if you are in the chat room, we need you right now to just type your name and hit send.
Roll call.
We're doing a roll call because throughout the evening we're going to be giving away prizes. And because this is a recorded episode, Tim and Lori and I will be keeping track of who's in the room tonight. We'll be drawing names at times in the segment for prizes that you're going to see that we demonstrate here tonight. So roll call right now, type your name and hit send so that we can put your names in the bucket. You gotta be in the room to win the prize.
Yeah.
Aha.
Aha. So you have to watch the whole show.
You do.
And you have a big prize at the end, right?
Well, a bigger prize. Yeah. So, you know, preparedness for me has been, it's
your mantra.
It's a part of me. You know, I experienced a house fire as a child.
Right.
And I experienced a house fire as an adult. I lost everything in an apartment fire. And so I've been through that a couple of times, and so it's kind of in my brain to be prepared.
Yeah.
And then my entire military career was based on this. You know, at my first duty station, one of my first jobs was to be certified as a CPR instructor, a wellness instructor, and start teaching. And so I've been doing this. It's
forever.
It's been beat into me, being prepared and being ready for whatever might happen. So,
and I was brought up in a family of boys by a scoutmaster. And of course, you know, scouts are be prepared, right? So we always were prepared at our house. Luckily, we never had to deal with fires.
And you can be prepared without being considered a prepper. Like, you don't have to be somebody that's preparing for the world to end. You can be prepared for things that may happen that can make your life a little difficult. So I'm going to try and give you some hints on how to make your life a little bit easier, a little bit safer.
But when you think about theater, community theater, and rehearsals, it's all about preparation.
It is.
And on show nights, and if you go backstage, everybody has their little space, right?
Yeah.
It's all marked out, and everybody has their own way of preparing for the show.
Sure. And
some people have their scripts right there. Everybody has water. We always make sure everybody's water. We have everything set up for you, and everybody prepares.
Well, you prepare for shows. You prepare to go to work in the morning. You prepare. You prepare the night before to go to work or to set up for school for your kids. Or we prepare. And I think if you could just take that in another level and be prepared for the unexpected, not just the expected, then I think it's always a good idea to be prepared.
Now, my family has this running argument going on because we live all over the country.
Yeah.
I mentioned my brother in Texas last week that had, they just had that terrible snowstorm and ice storm. So that was kind of a disaster there. My other brother lives in California, Bruce and Anna, they're watching, and they deal with earthquakes.
Well, and that's everyone's preparedness is going to be different.
Yeah.
It's based on your needs, your personal needs, your family's needs, geographically where we live, what's going to happen.
Because we live in New England, we're not really huge tornadoes. We're not really, though they do happen, we're not really huge earthquakes. It could happen. What's the thing we should be prepared the most for?
Well, we are, universally, you need to be prepared for power outages. You need to be prepared for times when we're going to be stuck in our homes for a while.
Oh, like COVID?
Well, it's kind of, but more on an emergency basis.
Right.
It's storms. We do get hurricanes from time to time. We get big storms. Power outages, fire safety. We live in New England. What do you have in your car? Are you prepared if you get stuck somewhere? Are you prepared if you have an emergency and you're in your car? Fire safety is just huge for me. Being prepared at your home in case something happens. And it's not just preparedness to fight the fire, because you shouldn't fight a fire.
Right.
You shouldn't stay in your house to fight a fire. You should do what you can to get out and make sure that your family is safe. So planning for that, having that all, just being prepared for whatever could happen. But we don't have to be prepared for 110-degree heat if our power goes out.
Right.
We need to be prepared for the opposite, for the cold weather. But look at Texas. They don't expect to be below zero either. So it's a gamut. And a lot of it is common sense in your life, what you need to get by if you don't have power, if you can't get to a store. How do you prepare for that?
Not to mention zombies.
Today, everyone travels, not so much now because of COVID or the COVID, as you say, but we travel, and so we need to be prepared for anything that come our way. And speaking of travel, Tim, what do you call someone who emigrated to Sweden?
I don't know. What do you call someone who emigrated to Sweden?
An artificial sweetener. That was a good one.
Yes. That was a real good one.
Artificial sweetener. I love that. I think that was great.
Lori's doing a really good job not laughing.
And she really is. She's doing a good job. So, Karen Willie sent me a really cute little joke too.
Did
she did.
You want to do that one now?
I can tell you that joke right now.
All right.
Thank you, Karen, for this really cute joke. What do you get if you get ketchup in your eye?
I don't know. What did you get if you get ketchup in your eye?
Hindsight.
And I was prepared. Should we go to our first segment?
Yeah, we're going to go to our first segment. So, so hang tight. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk about car safety and car preparedness.
Ooh,
so hang tight. We'll be right back. I think we stalled. Oh.
Ah! We're all gonna die!
Tim! Get a hold of yourself. We're prepared.
Damn straight we're prepared.
Timothy, no open containers.
Oh.
And now you littered. Well, no worries.
We get back, we're stalled.
No. We may be in the middle of nowhere, but we're prepared.
We are?
We are. If it's cold,
yes. I
have hand warmers. I keep these in my glove compartment.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
So those you can use that. Now, car preparedness. So FEMA at Ready.gov. That's a website that you should know. Ready.gov. It's a really useful website for lists of things that are recommended for you to have in basic kits. So in a car, of course, they say you should have jumper cables.
Got them.
You do?
I do.
That's excellent.
I've always had jumper cables.
You can carry flares or reflective triangles.
Always have flares.
Those are really good.
Yeah.
You should have an ice scraper in your car. Now, we live in New England, so hopefully you have an ice scraper in your car.
9 months, 10 months of the year.
Yeah, I take mine in and out of the car too.
Yeah,
I spring clean my car
well,
and take all the winter stuff.
I have one of those big ones, right? And I don't want that in the car in the summertime.
Yeah, now they say that you should have a blanket in your car.
Have at least
or
3.
A spare sweatshirt or something to keep yourself warm.
Yeah.
And keep in mind also, if it's a snow problem and you end up in a snowbank and you have your car running, you have to make sure that your exhaust pipe is kept clear.
Yeah.
Because if your car running, the exhaust pipe isn't clear, you're going to be breathing in that carbon monoxide.
So if your pipe is clear, do you have to crack your windows?
You should crack your window a small amount because fumes are not good.
Would the back window suffice?
A back window will suffice.
Okay.
Because then you don't have.
I'm learning something.
You are learning, Tim. Now they say that you should keep cat litter or sand in your trunk or in your car.
Oh.
Sand adds weight. I have a front wheel drive vehicle, so sand will add weight.
I used to do that.
I don't keep sand in my trunk. I do have some ice melt in my trunk.
Okay.
So if it's ice or snow that's keeping my tires from going, I put a little bit of ice melt on there and it clears it out. I tend to think that's a little bit better than, of course, it's the pet-friendly, animal-friendly ice melt because you're putting that on the ground.
Yeah.
Now, there are lots of other things that you can do.
Like what?
I cannot recommend more highly a AAA membership. Now, I have roadside assistance with my insurance company. It's part of my coverage, and it's not AAA, right?
Yeah.
So there was a point where I needed help. Someone stole the lug nuts, all but one, off the back tire of my SUV down in Waterbury, and I didn't know that. And I drove all the way to Northfield with the car going waka 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 waka, and people honking their horns at me, and I was like, "What is going on?" I had one lug nut in the back tire of my SUV.
You're very lucky.
So I got to a point in Northfield, and I pulled over and was like, "What's going on?" I called my insurance company, and they said, "You do have coverage, but we don't have anyone that works with us in your area." Bummer. So I called my friend Lori, and she used her AAA to have them tow the car to her house for me on a flatbed. They stole the lug nuts off the back tire. So I immediately signed up for AAA.
If I get stuck, I'm calling Ed.
you certainly can do that. Now, all of those things that we listed, they're often available in kits like this.
What?
This is an emergency road kit.
Wow.
It has all kinds of stuff in the kit. So, Tim, why don't you tell us what's in this particular kit?
You're assuming I can see with these glasses on. Okay, there is a booster cable.
Which is a jumper cable.
A headlamp flashlight, which is, that's the one you put on here.
You put on here, yeah.
Yeah, that's important to have. 3 AAA heavy-duty batteries.
That's for the headlamp.
Yeah. An emergency poncho, a safety vest.
Yes.
Oh, that looks pretty. A fabric blanket, a first aid kit, a pair of safety gloves, a durable carrying case, and one heavy-duty tow strap. Now that's important.
Yeah, so tow strap. People don't think to have those things in their car. Not only for you, but you may have to stop and help someone else.
Yes.
So kits like this, I have a smaller kit. John Poulin gave me a kit for Christmas one year. It's a little bit smaller than this, and it had jumper cables in it, and it has the reflectable triangle, it has a vest, and that kind of stuff. So these kits, they vary in price range. This kit runs for about $25, and you can find this one at Walmart. Now, something else I found at Walmart that I thought was pretty interesting. So, I'm getting down here on the floor. So, something that'll fit in your glove box.
What's that?
This is a headlamp. Okay?
Yeah.
It's a disposable headlamp. It cost $1.
What?
It was just $1. So what's $1? It's nothing, right? So they have these little things here that you pull out to protect the battery, and then it's a pretty bright little lamp, and it adjusts. It's just $1. So these are great just to pick up a few and throw them in your glove box in the little compartment
you can use
on your door.
To find your phone that you drop down the.
But these are also great if you have a young one in the back seat that's reading or doing something, and you don't want a bright light on. These are great for that. Because it's their own little light.
Yeah.
You can strap it to the back of your headrest, and it's pointing down at them and not towards you, or they can wear it and as a head. So these are great. These are $1 at Walmart, and you just throw them into your glove box, and you have them in case you need them. Something else that I picked up. This also at Walmart. This was $2.97.
Wow.
So this is a light that has a hook.
Well, Lori has one of those.
And it has a magnet. It is LED. Again, you pull the strip so that you can turn it on, and it's a pretty bright light.
That's a very bright light.
So these are great to have on the side of the road if you need to look under your hood. It'll attach to the inside of your hood. You can hang it as well.
Yeah.
$2.97 at Walmart. So it doesn't cost a lot of money to be prepared.
No.
I did some research also because I wanted to know about the safety of keeping a gas can
I
in
always
your car.
wondered about that because I used to do that all the time.
And it is not safe to carry gas in your vehicle.
Yeah.
If you have a truck with an open bed,
that's okay.
Or a pickup truck where the bed is separate from the cab of the truck, you can keep it in there. Keep a small amount in, right? It's the fumes that are dangerous. The gas isn't going to explode if somebody hits you.
Right.
Now, you can go and get a gas can like this.
Yes.
This is really tough. These are made for this. It's an approved container.
That you can bring to the gas station and fill up.
I keep an empty one in my car.
Yes.
Not only for me, if I have to help someone else.
Yeah.
If I come across someone, now I don't stop. I don't stop on the side of the road just for anyone.
No.
I don't. But if I see a family that's stranded and they're sitting there, I will stop. I won't necessarily load them all in my car.
Right.
But I will offer to go get gas for them. And so to have this in your car is pretty good.
I can tell you from experience that Jonathan Ross is prepared because I ran out of gas. Where was I? New Hartford.
Yeah.
And on a very sharp hill, I thought I had enough to get to the next gas station. Didn't work out. Jonathan was available. He just retired. He came down. He had one of these little things here. What's this like?
This is 1 gallon.
Just enough to get the car started and get me to the gas station.
Now, I'll tell you, these aren't really that cheap. This was $15 at an auto parts store.
But they're solid.
They're solid. They're tough.
Yeah.
So not cheap, but once you have one, you have one.
It's good to keep.
Honestly, I like to have it in there. Now, something else that I have in my car, Tim.
Oh, what else?
And this was another thing that John Poulin gave me. I think it's because his wife rides on my car a lot. Not so much that he cares about me.
I've seen these.
This is an escape hammer. These are great because they have a blade on the bottom for you to cut through your seatbelt if you have to, or cut through someone else's seatbelt.
Okay.
And then it has the little, on the front end, the ping hammer, which breaks the window. Now, there's a trick to that, you know.
What's the trick?
There is a trick. You don't want to hit the center of your window. You hit the corner of your window.
All right.
You hit the lower corner of your window from the inside, bam, and it's going to break better for you. Okay? You can pound on the center all you want to. You pound in the corner, hit the corner, and it's going to break easier for you. Okay?
Yeah.
So window breaker with a safety cap and a seatbelt cutter. I keep mine in my driver door, in the little pocket in my door.
Kind of makes sense.
That's where mine is kept, right there. So,
I'm getting so many anniversary present ideas.
And these, I have to tell you, this was $4.97 at Walmart.
Okay.
Again, it's not expensive to be prepared.
No.
And it's $4.97. And I like giving gifts like this because you care about people.
You're part Virgo, aren't you?
No, I'm not. Now, something else I have in my car, of course, is a first aid kit.
No.
$4.44 at Walmart for one of these first aid kits.
Now, those are ones you driving by, you see somebody stuck in the end of the road and somebody's bleeding. You just toss, hey, here you go. Have a first aid kit.
Yeah, no, you don't. No,
that's not a good idea.
No, it's really not a good idea.
I thought it'd be a really nice idea.
I mean,
look, that guy's bleeding.
Okay, throw Band-Aids at it. So yeah, so these little first aid kits, $4.44 at Walmart.
Yeah.
You can just keep it in your car, keep it in your glove box, keep it in the trunk, wherever you feel comfortable to do that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so that's the store-bought stuff. I'll tell you something else that I keep in my car.
What?
And that is my go bag.
Oh, a cargo bag?
Well, I get it. Yeah, it's in my trunk. And really, it's not really, I'm going to correct this.
Yeah.
The bag in my car, I call it a go bag, but it's really not a go bag. It's a stay bag.
What?
It's a stay bag. It's in case I get stuck somewhere and I have to stay.
A stuck bag.
So I do have protein bars in that bag.
Yeah.
In case I'm on the side of the road, you want to make sure that you have some protein bars or some kind of something like that, right?
Yeah.
Now I take a big Sharpie. Lori Pullen will love me for this, and I write the date that I bought it on the outside of the wrapper in big letters because you do want to check your bags occasionally to refresh things.
Expire.
I keep 2 bottles of water in my stay bag, in my go bag in my car.
Yeah.
I do have first aid supplies. I went into the travel section of Walmart and CVS and I bought a little overnight bag. So it's just, there's a little stick of deodorant, there's toothbrush, there's a razor in there, there's all that kind of stuff. That's in my stay bag. And then I went to Job Lots, and I bought a $5 pair of sweats. And I rolled them up and stuck them in the bag with a change of socks and a change of underwear.
Okay.
Because you don't know. And so I have that stuff in there. Now, medications. They say that you should put prescription medications in your go bags. For some people, that's difficult because your insurance only allows a certain amount of medication. I'll tell you what I did, and I don't know if it works for everybody. I went to my doctor and told her that I was putting together my emergency bags. I have 3 of them, one at the theater, one in the car, and one at home. And I told her what I was doing, so she wrote me a prescription because I go to the Veterans Administration, so they don't write prescriptions. It goes to the computer, and I get mailed my prescription.
Yeah.
She wrote me a prescription, and I went to Walgreens, and I used GoodRx.com. And I take a medication for my heart and a medication for my blood pressure. My heart medication cost me $3.60 with GoodRx.
Ooh.
And I didn't have to provide them with insurance because I was using GoodRx.
Okay.
There are lots of apps like that, but that's how I was able to get the extra medication I needed to put a little pill box together with my medications I did for 3 days because I didn't anticipate being away. And honestly, if I'm away more than 3 days, I can get to my doctor and they can get me an emergency supply if I need it. So 3 days, 72 hours is about what I did for my medications and my vitamins, and I put them into the thing. Now, here's another little suggestion for you. Because you're carrying prescription medications in a non-labeled bottle, you're going to put them in a pill carrier. It's usually a pretty good idea to keep medical information with that. So if someone were to question you about these pills you have that are unlabeled, you have a little medication or a little paper with a list of your medications and your doctor's information with it in your bag. It's just to be prepared for anything that could happen. So that's what I do. My bag in my car is really a stay bag just in case. Yeah. Just in case I have to stay somewhere. If I'm at the theater and I can't get home because of weather, I have stuff that I need. If I'm at my sister's house visiting and weather happens and I can't go home, I have the things I need for overnight. It's always in my car. And usually every 3 months, I take that bag out and I go through it to make sure that nothing's expired and that everything is good to go. Bottled water is pretty safe to keep for a really, really long time. Just remember that if you keep bottled water in your car, the heat does stuff to that plastic, so you really should rotate that bottle.
And it freezes too.
It does freeze. Yeah. It does freeze in the car. So just kind of watch out for that stuff. But that's what I do in my car. I have that kind of. Now, I found, I didn't know that they made it. They travel-sized toilet paper rolls.
Yeah.
They're about this big, I have 2 of them in my car. I've used them for spills, I've used them for other things, but they're in the car just in case. They don't take up any room, they squish right down.
Well,
but also baby wipes are a good thing to have. The travel size baby wipes, because those are good for, if you gotta clean up for a little.
Yeah, and you go to rest areas, you're on the road, a long trip to stop at a rest area, you never know what you got in there.
It's absolutely true.
It's a great thing to
It's
keep
absolutely
that
true.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Personal hygiene items, if you're trapped somewhere, stuck somewhere, or, so just, emergencies on the side of the road, you might want to keep that in mind. So hey, Tim.
Oh, what?
Since we're on the road.
Yes.
What do you get when a chicken crosses the road, rolls around in the dust, and then crosses back again?
I don't know what.
A dirty double crosser. Okay, it's on to the next segment.
Start the car up again. I gotta tell you, WandaVision is the best show on TV. Oh, even better than Dynasty. No, I'm serious. It was such a great show. What? Hello?
We lost power! We're all gonna die!
Are you there?
Oh my God, my phone is out too! What are we gonna do? Wow!
Hello? No, I don't need an extension of my car warranty.
Tim, what were you screaming about?
Oh, we lost power.
Oh, see? That can happen. At any time. We never know, right?
Yes, I'm always prepared for that.
How are you prepared?
I have my Black Hawk. Okay.
I knew he was going to throw that can. So listen, Timothy.
Yes.
We're talking about home preparedness.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, and you just experienced a blackout, and that can happen at any time. Now, FEMA has a lot of things on the website Ready.gov.
Yes.
That will fill you in on lists that they recommend. Yeah. Now, I always talk about the fact that we kind of have to fit those lists to our needs, right?
Yes.
Geographically and demographically, what our families are like and what our families need. Now, FEMA recommends a whole bunch of stuff that you have in your kits. That you should have a preparedness kit at home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not just things around your house. You should have.
Do we have a kit at home?
You have a kit. So, I have a bin.
You're not going to tell me where it is.
No,
we have
I have a bin. I have a bin. Now, my bin, I have one bin that I use for preparedness that doesn't look like any other bin in my house.
Okay.
I have bins of Christmas stuff. Sure. I have bins of craft stuff. But I have one bin. I bought it at Home Depot. It's black with a yellow lid. That's my preparedness bin.
Okay.
So nothing else goes in there. I know where it is, and it's just where easily identifiable to be able to find it.
So if you break into Ed's house, you can find this bin now. It's
you
black
can.
with yellow.
Yeah, it's under the pinball machine. I don't mind. I'll share.
Oh,
I'll share.
Okay.
So
what's in your bin?
I'm going to talk about what FEMA says you should have in your preparedness bin to be prepared at home.
Yeah.
They say you should have water and non-perishable food for several days. Now, we're going to talk about water in another segment and how much you should have. It's really quite a lot. It won't fit in my bin. I'll just tell you that.
Okay.
You should have an extra battery for your cell phone or a charger.
The charger.
Now, here's the thing. If the power goes out, right? So there are options for that.
Yes,
there are solar chargers for your phone that you can get. They're really small, very, very easy to get.
There are also portable chargers.
There are portable chargers that you can pre-charge, but they are going to run out eventually. Right? And if you don't know how long the power is going to be out. So these little fold-up solar chargers are great. Also, something else that you should have in your bin that can help you with this, a hand crank radio. Now, I have a small radio about this big. I think it cost me about $12 on Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
It's an AM, FM, and a weather radio.
Okay.
It runs on battery. It also has a small solar panel on the top, and it has a hand crank. It has a USB port that I can plug my phone into, and I can crank that to create charge. Surprisingly, it does not take a lot. To charge up your phone by cranking this thing. It does not take a lot.
You can exercise.
You're not gonna charge it up to 100%, but you're gonna get enough to be able to make a call if you have to. Right? And that radio also has a flashlight on it and other things. It's just a small little radio, and it's in my preparedness kit.
That's really what I want for my anniversary.
So a preparedness radio. It's really easy.
So when they talk about you got to have a radio, what would you need a radio for?
Because the weather, NOAA, the National Oceanographic Atmospheric Association, or whatever it's called, they have a weather station that plays the alerts that are happening in your area all the time. And these radios, these weather emergency radios, you can get AM, FM to get your local stations to find out what's going on. But you can also go to the weather. There's a channel. You click it to weather, and it brings up the weather alerts that are in your area.
And I will tell you that I'm dating myself here, but the blizzard of '78.
I remember that blizzard.
Some of our people remember that. I was working for Super Music CO, WWCO in Waterbury. And if you remember, they closed all the roads. Everything was closed. So we got so much snow in that one. We gathered at the radio station, and we used the time to find out who was open. And we were able to help people in need by telling them where they could get food, where they could get emergency supplies. So, local radio is your best bet.
Now, they also say that you should have flashlights and batteries.
Of course.
I'll tell you, I have a flashlight in every room of my house. It's the weirdest thing, I know, but it's for me because I have a pretty sprawled out. So there's in my bedroom, I have a flashlight. In my bathroom, I have one of those little pull-up lantern things.
Oh, that's important. You need hands free.
Well, but it's bright. It lights up the whole room. It's not a flashlight that I have to find. It's pretty big, and it's right there. Because if the power goes out in my bathroom, it's really dark.
And let's be very clear. We all know about power outages because in the last couple of years, we have all had to deal with that in one form or another. And for multiple days.
And then I have other kinds of flashlights. I have battery operated. I also have the kind that you charge in your computer, USB chargeable. They also talk about a whistle. Now, you might think it's weird. Why would I have to have a whistle in my home preparedness? If you're trapped in your home, if there's a flood or an earthquake and you're trapped in your home and you're in a smaller area, then someone is coming door to door looking for people, or you're on your roof for a flood, you have a whistle to attract attention. So it's not a bad idea to have.
I think I learned that fact in Titanic.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Come back!
Come back!
Come back!
Come back!
Come back!
Saved
We won't
her life.
talk about the merits
Saved
of that.
her life.
Yeah, they both could have fit on that door.
Yeah, really could have.
I love you, Jack. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Yeah, but she had a whistle. She took the whistle.
She took the whistle off the deck.
And the whistle saved her life.
Yep.
So not a bad
guy.
idea to have a whistle in your kit, right?
No.
Moist towelettes, plastic bags, and twisty ties.
What?
That's for you to do your business.
Oh, I see.
So listen.
The twisty ties is important.
So that you can get a 5-gallon bucket. You can get those at Home Depot. You can get them at Lowe's. You can get them pretty much anywhere. They can become your preparedness bin, and they also double as a toilet. Like, they sell preparedness kits where the lid of the bucket is a toilet seat. So you replace the bag, and you can, and then you tie it up and put it away.
Saw that in the game that we like to play.
So it's there. I mean, you can search. They don't call them. They call them survival kits on most websites.
Yeah.
You can search for them. You'll see all the different kits that are out there.
Okay.
I make my own because I have specific needs that I don't need all the stuff that they put in there. So, but you should have moist towelettes. Again, baby wipes. Travel size baby wipes are amazing because they tend to be less harsh on your skin and your sensitive parts than other things do. Now, they say that's a basic kit. There were a lot of things in there that I went, what about this, and what about this, and what about this? They have an extended list of, just in case you probably should put this in.
But wait, there's more lists.
Prescription medications, which we talked about, and eyeglasses, extra eyeglasses. Now, I gotta tell you, eyeglasses are not cheap.
No, I know that.
Right? Eyeglasses are not cheap.
I know that.
So this is what I would do if I were you. You can go to Staples, and they have on their reader's rack, they have progressive glasses that are 3 times to 1 time, or 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. You can try one of those on. They run about $20.
Yeah.
I'm able to wear those and not my prescription. They are they're soft plastic, so they bend and stuff. You can throw those into a prep kit, and they're there for you in case. You probably won't see perfect. They're not going to be your prescription, but it's certainly better than being blind. Well, I got to tell you, I keep a pair in my car because I forget my glasses often.
I never throw out an old pair of glasses. I mean, if I get a new prescription, I keep the previous prescription.
I donate my glasses to the Lions Club. Dana Willie.
2 prescriptions ago, I never keep more than one old pair, but I do keep an old pair around just in case.
Yeah.
That might be something good for that.
So they also talk about the fact if you have pets, you need to keep them in mind for emergencies as well. Do you have extra food for them? Because eventually you might have to eat them, so you have to keep them fat. What? No, I'm only kidding. No, you're not going to eat your pets. That's horrible, right? It's horrible.
Not my cat.
Yeah, no. So that's horrible. Keep them in mind as well. Do you have a little bit of extra food for them? They also talk about your family documents. You should have those easily accessible. Now, I have to tell you something. My sister is watching right now. I know she is. Yeah. So she's going to understand this. When we would have to take my dad to the emergency room, oftentimes we were so frazzled that they would come at us and say, what's his insurance number? Yeah. What's his medical history? How many medications does he have? It was crazy. Yeah. These are little magnetic frame holders. You find these at CVS. They're about $4. This one's $5. This one's a little bit. So on my refrigerator at home, and we had one for my dad, I have this on my medical information is inside. It slips right inside. It's a little frame. Yeah. It slips in there. Okay. So that in an emergency, you just grab that and go. It saved us so much with my sister because we would take my dad to the hospital. They would walk up. We would hand them a paper. And on that paper, it had his insurance information, his date of birth, a brief medical history, a list of all of his medications, and the names of all of his doctors and their phone numbers. The hospital staff loved it when we gave these things. Oh. It also had on there the fact that he had a DNR, that who his power of attorney was, all of that stuff was on there. I have one on my refrigerator, and mine says medical on it. It's easy to have it, grab it, and go. You can hand it to ambulance personnel, you can hand it to emergency rooms, and you don't have to think about it. The key is just keep it updated. We had to update my dad's a lot, and it saved us to have that information written down. I have my information in my wallet. I also have it on my refrigerator in one of these. Mine says medical on it because nobody ever is going to see that anyway.
No, so that's what you're talking about for family doctors.
Insurance policies. You should have several copies of your insurance policies, your bank information, all of that stuff that you're going to need to take with you if you need to go somewhere quickly. So,
Or if your house gets destroyed. Or something happens like that.
Right. Well, that's a little bit later. We're going to talk about the go bag because you're going to grab that go bag. Yep. The kit you can't take and run with you, but this is stuff that you can. It also says that you should have cash because if power goes out, there's not going to be ATMs aren't available. They probably can't take credit cards and things like that. So you should have some extra cash laying around. They say sleeping bags. You should have sleeping bags. I have sleeping bags in a cedar closet because I used to camp a lot, so I have that stuff.
Yeah, we do too.
But we have blankets around and we have stuff like that. I would recommend getting an emergency blanket. They're Mylar blankets, so they're like that reflective stuff. It's like tinfoil for your body.
They give those out at marathons and things.
They do, and they're actually really, really great. And you can get different grades of them. Some of them you can't even rip it.
Yeah.
Some are like camouflage on one side, and they're the Mylar on the other side. That's so you can make an outdoor shelter, and you're inside with the mirror side facing you, and it's kind of like a convection oven. It radiates your own body heat.
Yeah.
So those are great to get. Again, the Mylar blankets, you can go to any store that has a camping section. You can get them for $2.
Really?
They're just a little, and they're in a Ziploc bag, and you just keep them in your kit, keep them in your car, whatever. It's really easy, really
Can you use
easy.
those in the car?
You absolutely can.
Okay.
Sure you can. It keeps you warm.
Yeah.
It's
That'd be a good one to have in the car.
a very good thing.
Okay.
A complete change of clothes, they say, to keep in your bag. Now, I'm at home, so I'm at home, so I don't have clothes in my prep kit. I don't have them in my bin.
Okay.
I'm at home, so I don't feel like I need to have that there.
Okay.
They're in my go bag. Fire extinguishers, which we're going to talk about later. We're going to talk about fire extinguishers.
Yeah.
Matches in a waterproof container.
Yeah.
You can get waterproof matches. Again, any camping supply has them, waterproof matches. Bic lighters are so cheap. You can have those available too.
Yeah.
So anything that you can use to start a fire, but in a waterproof container is good because if you have regular wooden matches or regular matches, strike matches, and they get wet, they're not going to work for you.
Right.
Feminine hygiene supplies. Enough said, Lori.
Moving on.
Mess kits, paper plates, cups, disposable utensils. In my kit, I went to Walmart and I went to the camping section, and I got a little camping mess kit for, again, $4.97 I think I paid.
Right?
It has a little plate, it has a little bowl, and it has a fork, knife, and a spoon, and it fits into a little kit. It ends up being about this big.
That's all you need.
Seriously, that's all you need. Get one for each person and you're good to go.
Yep.
You're good to go. Paper and pencil.
That's important.
I recommend waterproof paper. They have on a lot of websites the spiral bound notebooks about this big, and they're waterproof.
Yeah.
So you can write on them, and if they get wet, it doesn't matter. So if you're writing emergency information down or a phone number or something like that, you can. I would recommend that. It's worth the effort.
And
to
that's
do
why
that.
pencil is better than pen in that case.
Now
we used to go all the time to like home shows and things like that, and they were always giving away pens. They're always giving away pads.
Always.
And that's the stuff we always put aside.
Just throw them aside. It's a good thing. I customize mine a little bit, so I'll talk a little bit about how I am prepared. I talked about the fact that my emergency information is easily accessible. So that's really key to anybody that's around. And make sure people know where it is. I have a plan. That is so important. You've got to have a plan in your household. Yeah. If there's an emergency, where are you going to meet? Now, you guys live in a small little house, so you can pretty much yell at each other.
Yeah, right? But we can't hear each other.
But if there's something, if you're in your office, and she's in her office, and something happens, where do you meet outside? If she has to leave the front of the house and you're going to go out the back door, where are you going to meet? You should have a designated meeting spot in your yard or near your home where your family knows where you're going to go. Have a plan.
The fire pit?
That is really, really important.
Our fire pit.
I have my go bag.
Yes.
And my home go bag is different from my car stay bag. Because my home go bag, I'm assuming that if I'm going to take that bag, I'm going to be away for a while. I'm going to be out of my home. So that bag is larger. It has 3 days worth of food for me. I have a change of clothes as always, but then I also have some other equipment in that bag. I have things that will help me if I'm not able to get to shelter. I have equipment to be able to build a shelter or to stay outside if I need to.
Yeah.
That comes from my other military training.
Okay.
So that's the bag where my hand crank radio is kept.
Yeah.
I have one there. I have one in my prep kit. They're cheap. I have 2 of them.
Okay.
I have extra batteries in there. I also have a stash of water that I don't touch. I have 3 cases of water that I keep separate. So again, we'll talk about water in a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's how I prepare at home. Now, I also have, of course, first aid kits. I want to talk a little bit about those. believe it or not, this little thing is a first aid kit.
Okay.
This little tiny tin. I got this one at CVS. It was $5.99.
Okay.
And it has everything you need for quick first aid.
All right.
So this is just a quick little first aid kit to have.
All right.
This little home first aid kit, this is just a good little kit to have, right?
Yeah.
Something I'm going to tell you about that I think you should have in your first aid kit all the time, in all of your first aid kits. CVS's brand is called Blood Stop. Other brands are called Quick Clot. So when you bang your head, you bleed a lot, right? And it tends to freak people out.
Yeah,
because
nobody likes that.
Because especially in your head and your face, you all your blood vessels are closer to your skin, and that's why you bleed more.
I know that
when you hit your head and things like that. Also, if you're on blood thinners or other stuff, so this stuff was helpful for my dad because he was on that.
Yeah.
So these are bandages that have chemical enzyme on them that promote clotting quickly. So at Walmart, they're called Quick Clot, and they're in the camping section and in the first aid section. This was a CVS one. It's called Blood Stop. These are great to have because when you bang your head in an emergency, it can be really scary for the people around you because a lot. But this is also good for other wounds as well.
You should probably have those here for, like when you're building sets.
We do have them here. And so this is...
He says with experience.
With experience, yeah. Just think about all the different kind of things that might happen. Be prepared for that. Yeah?
Speaking of prepared, we want to again remind you that if you haven't already, sign up. Put your
roll
call on there because we will be giving things away.
We are going to be giving things away.
So make sure we know that you're on and you're watching.
Tim, we're going to go on to another segment in just a second. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. Well, I'm back. Tim was out in the lobby doing something. So we are talking about water and how much water you should have at home and all of that kind of information. So, yes!
The heat's gone out.
Well, it'll come back
on.
It'll come back on.
I borrowed something to warm up. Is that all right?
Yes, Tim.
All right.
Oh. So I guess we're going to talk about heat.
It's warm.
Okay. So we're going to talk about heat then. Instead of water. We'll go to water in just a minute since Tim is cold.
Freeze it.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, what?
What did the blanket say when it fell off the bed?
I don't know. What did the blanket say when it fell off the bed?
Oh, sheet. Okay, so listen. Since Tim was cold and he put on his little Pink Panther pajamas,
other ways to keep warm.
We're gonna talk about.
Black Hawk keeps me warm.
No, but drink responsibly. Tim, don't litter anymore. So, the cold is dangerous because you end up with hypothermia. When you're in your car, we've talked a little bit about the fact that you should have a blanket in your car. One of those Mylar blankets is always a good thing to have in your car. But when you're at home, you have to dress like a Pink Panther. It's important to dress in layers. You can have a Mylar blanket at home as well.
Yeah.
But my sister learned a craft many years ago. She's older than me. Many years ago in Girl Scouts, she learned how to do a little trick. And then I recently learned it and didn't know that she had learned it many years ago in Girl Scouts. I didn't even know they had Girl Scouts then. But anyway, so she learned this trick on an overnight. So I want to talk to you a little bit about this. This is using a terracotta pot to create a radiant heater for your home.
What?
Yeah, it is. So any size terracotta pot. I was looking for something a little larger, and I found this medium-sized one. You can use a dinner plate on the bottom. You're going to turn the terracotta pot upside down, and you're going to create
terracotta. Are those like they usually the other color ones?
Yeah, this is a clay pot. The terracotta pot is the color terracotta.
Oh, okay.
It's like a rust-colored.
Then they're ceramic almost.
They're
right?
correct.
Okay.
And so they come in all different sizes, and you can create different size heaters for your family or for your room. Okay. And they work. They do. I tried this because I was really curious.
All right.
I wanted to know, really, does it really work?
Okay.
And it does work. So
what do you do? You got the plate.
A dinner plate, or this is a terracotta base,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
You're going to need something that's going to keep the terracotta pot off of the plate. You don't want it like that. It's going to be off a little tiny bit. You can use coasters. You can use stones.
Okay, so you leave a little gap there.
Yeah. Now, you see people using tea lights. Tea lights don't last a long time.
No,
they really don't. Another thing that was very hard for me to find today and yesterday when I was shopping was emergency candles, just the plain white candles.
Oh, yeah.
Very hard to find anymore. Mm-hmm. Really hard to find. I asked the guy at Walmart, he said, we don't carry those anymore. So you go to a True Value Hardware or someplace else, or do a little bit of shopping around.
Stores.
They might have those. You're going to want one that's not tall inside. See how this one's super tall? It's not going to work. You need a shorter candle. Okay. You put the candle in, set the terracotta pot, light the candle, set the terracotta pot. Yeah. There's a hole in the pot.
Okay.
You don't want that there.
You
right?
don't want the hole?
So you put a coin over it.
Okay.
Or you set a little dessert plate on top. You want to retain the heat.
All right.
This is going to heat up and become a radiant heater for your room.
Get out of it.
It really works. I'm telling you, it works. It's the weirdest thing ever.
Is it too hot to touch?
Mine didn't get too hot to touch. It was very warm to touch, but it's it's radiant, so it radiates off of the terracotta heater. You can search these on YouTube. There's all kinds of instructions on how to do them. I was really surprised. Yeah. It does work. I did one at home, and
good to know.
It does work. Again, it's not going to heat my whole living room, but it's going to keep me a little warmer than sitting in an ice cold room.
I actually heard too, during that whole crisis in Texas, people put tents in their houses, and they would get inside the tents.
They did.
And that would keep the heat.
Because
in that
you're keeping your body.
You don't have to heat the whole room. You just need to heat a small area.
Correct. But you need to be careful what kind of heaters you use.
They were just
body heat in a tent certainly is going to work, and that's why those Mylar blankets are so good.
Yeah.
But if you're going to use an artificial heat source, if you're going to use candles, if you're going to use electric heaters, well, in this case you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
But if you're going to use some other kind of heat source, please be careful. Make sure that you're monitoring those sources all the time.
Be sure you have ventilation
and proper ventilation. So this is just a weird little trick that I learned. So I'm going to walk up and put it over here.
Speaking of radiant heat,
I'm
radiating a lot of heat right now.
Well, you put it on, so you're going to suffer. Here, have some water. There you go. It's some water for you. You drink enough water and you have to pee. And do you know, speaking of pee, do you know why you can't hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom?
Wait a minute, let me drink first. While they think about that one.
Because the pee is silent.
I'll let you
That's great. So we're going to talk about water and water safety and what you should have.
I really can't get out of it.
No, you can't get out of it. You put it on, so you're going to stay. You're going to stay with it. This will be a short segment. We're talking about water.
God.
So FEMA, Ready.gov, they suggest that you have to have enough water for everyone to drink for 3 days. Now, one person drinks a gallon of water a day. It's recommended. That's 128 ounces.
Yeah.
So that's 8 bottles of water every day that you should be drinking. Now some people need more. Children tend to need more water.
Yep.
Elderly people need more water.
You got to be hydrated.
So you need to make sure that you're hydrated. Also, when you're saving water, you need to take into account your hygiene needs, because I'm not going to want to use my bottled water to clean myself and to clean my dishes. Don't ration water unless we're told to do so. If the authorities tell us to start rationing water, that's when you ration water.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that. Make sure you have enough for yourselves. Make sure you have enough for your loved ones and your pets. And you can do that, right?
Yeah.
Keep in mind that if you're doing a lot of activity and you're sweating, or if you're dressed like Tim, you're going to need more water than if you weren't doing that, right?
Maybe some.
Drink water that you know is not contaminated before you try to drink water from an outside source.
That's where the bottled
water is. Do not drink carbonated beverages or coffee in place of water. Now, if water is scarce,
Yeah.
I'm a coffee drinker. Woo, man, right? I get caffeine headaches and all that stuff. A little trick that I learned in the military when I was in the field, we carried instant coffee with us.
Sanka?
Sanka, Folgers, Nescafe, whatever. You take a pinch of that instant coffee and you put it between your cheek and your gum, like chewing tobacco.
A little pinch will do ya.
You get your caffeine fix. Woo! It dissolves. It tastes like coffee, so it doesn't. It's bitter and it's a little sharp at first, but you're going to get your caffeine fix. That's a little military trick that I learned. Lori's making faces. She'd rather go without her caffeine than do that.
Should I just suck on my tea bag? Would that work?
Well, there are tannins in your tea bag that help with things like toothache and gum disease. Yeah. So we talked about storing your water. Now you can treat your water.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah, well, you don't have to do that.
Okay,
Pink Panthers don't like to suck on tea bags. You can treat your water before you drink it. If you don't have bottled water, you have to use water from your tap or from other places and you're not sure how contaminated it is. Outside water, make sure that the particles go to the bottom of the container, any particles that are in the water, and then you can strain that through a coffee filter. So have coffee filters around your house or several layers of clean cloth.
Right.
It'll get the particles out.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
In Texas, they had a water problem.
Yes.
Big time water problem.
Yes.
They told people to boil their water.
Correct.
Was that, and other than getting rid of impurities, can you drink boiled water?
You can. So here's the thing: boiling water kills bacteria and it kills contaminants. It does not get rid of heavy metals or other issues like that in the water. So so that's why they tell you filter your water through a coffee filter. Boil your water. Boiled water doesn't taste normal, right?
Yeah,
that's because the oxygen has been boiled out of the water. So to make it taste better, take that water and dump it between two containers several times. That reoxygenates the water and it tastes better. It doesn't taste like boiled water.
That's a good thing to know.
When it's slightly cooler, of course, don't splash boiling water on yourself. Dump it between containers a couple of times. It reoxygenates the water and brings that taste back.
Blow on it. Would that work?
No. You can also chlorinate your water if you have to. I have iodine tablets in one of my go bags.
Okay.
You can use those.
What does that do?
Iodine kills bacteria and it also helps with radiation and does all kinds of stuff, but it tastes pretty horrible. You know, they sell filtration straws. They have them at Walmart in the camping section. They have them at Cabela's. They have them all different places. You can get a filtration straw and you'll be able to drink from a mud puddle straight through the straw. It cleans everything out of it. I don't know that it would clean 100% of the chemicals and weird stuff. So that's like a last ditch thing for me.
Okay.
So there's chlorination, which is adding bleach or adding a chemical to the water, and there's distillation. Distillation is boiling the water and collecting the steam, and then the water that comes from that steam is free of heavy metals and free of contaminants.
Now, when you buy a jug of distilled water,
that's what they've done. They've boiled regular water, they've collected the steam and bottled the condensation from that. Okay. And that's distilled water. So you can find all the information on distilling your water, on chlorinating your water, boiling your water, all of that. You can find that on the Ready.gov site, which is managed by FEMA.
So if that's the case, and you have things like a CPAC or whatever, CPAP, whatever it is, and that's your go bag, right? Your stuff, you should have some distilled water.
Sure you should, but if the power's out, your CPAP's not going to work.
Well, that's true.
So you're just going to snore a lot.
Oh dear.
So that's a little bit of information on water. Remember, you have to have enough for a gallon for every person every day,
or
more if you're dressed like this, or if you're a child, or if you're old like this. Then you're going to need more water. Yeah, it's time for us to go to the next segment. So we're going to say goodbye on this one, and we're going to talk about fire safety next.
Oh boy.
Fire safety. You know, if you're not the Jolketeer, you're not going to be walking around with a lighter and a wreath on your head. But we're going to talk a little bit about how you should be prepared at home for fire safety. Just some little things. You all know this, but I'm going to go over it anyway since we're talking about preparedness. Tim, you okay? Tim just got a little charred there, but it's okay. I'm glad you're back, Tim. So, smoke detectors. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
Tim, you have smoke detectors at home, right?
Absolutely.
You do.
Every house has to have them.
Yeah, I have a lot of smoke detectors. I found these. This little smoke detector. It's a micro profile smoke detector. $4. $4 at Walmart, and it's small.
So what does that do for you?
It's just a smaller profile. It's not the big chunky
it's
one.
Like a whole room?
It is a whole room, but it's just a smaller version. So it takes up less. It's not the big bulky ones you see. Runs on a 9-volt battery.
Okay.
But you can do your research on what detectors you like and what's better for you.
Yeah.
I have one outside my bedroom. I have one at the top of the cellar stairs. I have one in my living room. I don't have one in my kitchen just because when I'm making bacon and stuff, I always set the darn thing off. Yeah. So I don't have it in my kitchen. I never leave my kitchen while my stove is on high. If you've got something on the stove and it's high.
And you have electric, right?
I have a gas stove.
Oh, you have gas.
But you should, if you're cooking something with high heat on the top of your stove, you should never leave it unattended. That's just a thing. That's just a thing.
That's just common sense.
Don't do it. And don't be distracted by that. But so smoke detectors, change your batteries when we change the clocks. So that's every 6 months you should be changing the batteries on your smoke detectors. And you should test them frequently. This little micro profile. Somebody's going to win this tonight. Yeah, because we love you. We want everyone to be safe and be prepared, right?
Unlike me.
Have a plan in your house. Conduct fire drills with your family. Where are you going to meet? How are you going to get out? Have more than one exit. Have more than one exit from every room that you're in your house.
I'm betting that Tori and Rob and Eve have an incredible plan.
Yeah, I want to know who
Captain Safety.
I want to know who grabs the swords.
Oh, yeah.
Probably
you.
Yeah. So have a plan. Conduct fire drills with your family just to be prepared.
I will say that growing up, and my father was a gun shooter. He was a marksman, right?
Yeah.
He had guns, he had black powder, but we had all the stuff, and we were trained. We had a two-story house. We knew how to get out from anywhere in the upper level, and how to get out downstairs.
Yeah.
It was drilled into us.
Yeah, I think if you have a plan, you know who is gonna grab your family documents or the important papers that you need to take with you.
Yep.
Who's gonna take that go bag and get out of the house, and where are you gonna meet in your yard or outside your house? Where are you gonna meet? Have a plan. And then fire extinguisher. We're going to talk about that really briefly.
Yep.
So you want a fire extinguisher that is an ABC, which is basically you use it for everything, because you're not going to use water on a chemical fire or an electrical fire.
Do they even make water fire extinguishers?
I think they make foam still, but I don't think that they make water anymore.
Yeah.
And so this is just a really simple little one. This is a standard little home fire extinguisher. This came from a 2-pack of fire extinguishers like this that they sold at BJ's, and it was really affordable. Public buildings like this, the fire department frowns on us having fire extinguishers for the public to use. So we have one at the front door, we have one downstairs outside the furnace room, I have one in the booth where the electrical equipment is.
Right.
But they don't want the public fighting fires. And it should be the same thing for you in your home.
And the reason for that is,
if it's too hot, you need to leave. If it's too smoky, you need to leave.
Your life is much more important than any building.
So an all-purpose use fire extinguisher, and you should check them frequently to make sure that they're charged and that they haven't been used by accident. When I was out doing my research, I found this.
That looks like cooking
It's a first alert, easy fire spray. It does look like cooking spray, but it's not. It's designed for your kitchen. It's just like an aerosol can.
So like a pan fire, a grease fire? Now this is important.
So listen, pan fires and grease fires. Never water on a fire on top of your stove, right? You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
They want you to keep a cookie sheet nearby or the lid of the pan. And if there's a fire, you simply slide the cookie sheet across the top of the pan, and it takes the oxygen away from the fire. Okay?
Or the lid.
Or the lid. If you can put the lid on it, you either put the cookie sheet or you put the lid.
Yeah.
You can use an all-purpose fire extinguisher for it.
Right.
But, make sure that you read the instructions on the fire extinguisher on either one.
Yep.
You can go on to, now there's a different website. I'm going to go over here and get some paperwork, okay? So, there is this, there's a different website that I found.
Okay.
It's part of FEMA, and it's the U.S. Fire Administration. It's called Fire is Everyone's Fight. What's great about this is this little book that I downloaded teaches you or tells you how to teach your family about fire. It gives you tips on how to keep it simple, how to teach your kids, how to teach your family, how to take care of them. There are tools in here. There are suggestions on what you can have, and it tells you how to handle things like grease fires, stove fires, oven fires, microwave fires, all of that stuff. So this is downloadable and it's free. It's part of FEMA, the U.S. Fire Administration. Fire is everyone's fight. The logo is behind us on the wall. So yeah, so
I thought it was fire is everyone's friend.
No, fire is everyone's fight.
Yeah.
So just be prepared and know that there are these little tools out there.
What if your friend's on fire?
If your friend's on fire, stop, drop, and roll. That's what you do. See, I know that, Tim.
I know.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, what?
What do you call an empty can of Cheese Whiz?
Oh, a disappointment.
Cheese Whiz. And with that, we're going to end this segment on fire safety, and we're moving on. We'll see you in just a bit.
Okay, so let's recap.
Recap. Well, you know what? I know this has very little to do with theater, what we did today, other than your skills as an actor that were displayed and the costumes that you wore. But you know, we care about all of you. We care about our family, our Phoenix family, and so we wanted to just share this information with you about being prepared. And maybe you got something from it. Maybe it's stuff that you already know. But you're going to win these, all of these products that we've been talking about. You're going to win these things tonight, or so that's why we asked you to do a roll call. Hey Tim.
Hey, what?
What sound does a nut make when it sneezes?
I don't know. What sound does a nut make when it sneezes?
Cashew!
That brings up a really important thing.
Yes.
EpiPens.
We're not even gonna. That's a whole nother subject. I have EpiPens because I'm allergic to bees. You have EpiPens because you're allergic to tree nuts. And so that's a whole nother subject altogether. We'll have a doctor on to talk about that.
We never mentioned where you keep the six-pack.
Yeah, that's you mean this one?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
It's under my beer deposit.
Okay.
You know.
By the way, we should mention that we did go to Black Hawk.
We did. On last Thursday, we visited Black Hawk. They were so happy.
You were the
I was
first
actually
one in
first
the door.
one in the room, and I got a standing ovation.
They applauded.
I didn't get free beer because of that, but they were very excited to have people back. We were one of 3 tables inside, and they have a whole outside area. Now, when this whole pandemic thing happened, we had a couple of events planned. We had a hockey game planned, and then we also had an event at Black Hog. We have rescheduled that event for later in the year. We'll talk more about that when we get closer. We talked to Olivia and to Justin, one of the owners of Black Hog. They were very, very happy that we were there, that there other people were there, and that they were able to get back up and around. And so we're excited for them. We're very happy.
Very happy for them.
And we look forward to the time when we can be back up and going. And
we should talk about too are we still doing the cutouts?
We are still doing the cutout fundraiser. That's on my list right here.
There you go. Okay.
So we are doing the cutout fundraiser. It's been really successful so far. You have until March 15th to make your $10 donation and send me a photo that we then forward to our friend Deb Crine at Sierra Ridge Media Arts. And they're doing audience cutouts. So we should start getting those soon. And we'll be able to pan the audience. And whatever seats that they're in, we'll be putting those seat numbers up to win prizes as well. So
It'll
you'll
be
able
so
to
nice
see
to see your faces.
It will. We have some puppy dogs. We have some K-pop stars. And we have a cat, and we have all kinds of people in our audience. It's going to be crazy good.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be crazy good. Yeah, people from California, people from local. So we're excited. And you'll see them during Give Local 2021. That's
coming up.
That's on April 20th and the 21st. We're going to be live both nights. On April 20th, we're doing a staged reading. And we're going to actually have an audience in the house for people who want to come and be here amongst our cutouts. So it'll be another test run for us, having an audience. Very small audience. You know, don't forget to like our page. Don't forget to subscribe to our page. And we need to thank our sponsors.
Starting with Black Hog Brewing Company, Oxford, Connecticut.
Yeah, we're very excited that they're back open again. We so appreciate all of their help. We also have to thank our friend Deb Cryan, Jeff Cryan, Sierra Ridge Media Arts from Naugatuck.
Yep.
They're doing so much for us, and we're very, very appreciative of them.
Yes.
I'm also right now going to put on the screen a little shot of a donation that we just got from Network for Good. We talked a little bit about this, but I wanted to show you the form that I get. So we just got a donation of $677.50 from Network for Good. That's the Facebook fundraisers that people are doing. I don't know if this is one fundraiser or two fundraisers, because I know that Tony Benedetti did one for his birthday. I know that Deb Cryan did one, and she did one in association with Giving Tuesdays, and so they matched part of it. We have no idea who it is. I went to the website for more information. It just says anonymous. So thank you to whoever did these particular. Amber just did it and hit her $300 mark for her birthday. So thank you very much. We have a few projects coming up here at the theater that we're getting ready for. So that's all really helpful. The insurance came due, so we were able to renew the insurance. We have a couple of different policies. All of the bills that we have to pay. So thank you everyone out there for all of your support. And you can support Phoenix Stage Company anytime you'd like by donating at https://phoenix-stage-company.square.site. We understand that we're going to be slowing down on our donations a little bit right now because we're getting ready to come to Give Local, and it's a really important event because they match funds. So don't, we're rocking along. We can't wait for that event. We can't wait for that event. This has been great.
You're just crazy about it.
I am crazy about preparedness. I'm crazy about teaching this stuff and being out there, and and I know that there are other people like Rob. Rob is like Mr. Camper Guy, Rob Rushnowski. So he could teach us a whole bunch of stuff about camping. And now Eva, every year they go, and she's really into it too. So if they want to come on anytime and teach us anything, any little tricks that they learned about camping and stuff, I know that we love it. He makes this really weird banana thing on the campfire.
We tried that.
We tried it. It didn't work so well because our grease wasn't hot enough.
That's what we
So in any case, thank you all so much for watching this week. Thank you for being here. Lori, thank you for being here behind the camera, for putting up with all this madness. Tim, thank you for being here.
My pleasure, as always.
And until next time, we will see you.
Be prepared.
Bye. Be prepared.